Sac State chapter of College Democrats planned the student march against sexual assault in response to the 4 sexual assaults on and around campus last semester.
The march followed the darkest route from the Well to Sacramento Hall on Thursday night.
Before the march, President of the College Democrats, Ellen Bezanson, asked for better mental health services, increased funding for service centers, and police reform, with Sac State President Robert Nelson, leader of school administration, to her side.
Campus safety should be taken much more seriously. You are here because you care about making campus safer. And we need to carry on this momentum because after today, it doesn't stop here.
Hi, my name is Justine Chahal, and I'm a reporter with the State Hornet. Today, we are reporting from the South Lawn near the Well, where the Students' March Against Sexual Violence is being held.
So I live on campus, and I'm also an international student. So when the news broke out in November that, the first few cases of sexual assault was in the same living accommodation that I was in, I was just totally worried for my safety. And if it was me, I am miles away from where I'm originally from. So I've also had friends be victims of sexual assault. There's not really a great support system for victims here on campus.
I would like more denouncing and publicly talking about it, not just when an attack happens, but constantly letting people know that we're trying to figure something out. We're trying to work with everybody. We want to hear from you. This is what we can do together. I think that administrators and faculty need to take a step back sometimes and understand that in order to progress, we need to listen to the generation that it's affecting right now.
I'm a student, a wife, a mother, a survivor of child sexual violence. If you kick the hornet's nest, you should expect the hornets to sting in response.
Not be scared at night. We have a right to not be scared at night.
We have a right to not be scared at night.
We have a right to not be scared at night.
To know only about 19% of women in the state have never experienced sexual harassment. To see my peers in the queer and BIPOC community have their cases ignored by the discrepancies within our Title IX office and the Office of Equal Opportunity. Navigating this dilemma, not just as an international student, but as a queer woman of color, is terrifying. It pains me to think about it, but deep down I ask myself quietly, how long will it take until I eventually become part of the 81%? How could I ever explain this fear to my family a whole continent away without them worrying sick? How much more pain and fear should we Hornets endure until something substantial is done?
To our administration, I hope you listen to us as students. I don't think we're asking too much of you to improve our resources, to look at us and help us and uplift our story.
What is the administration doing? What are we doing? Well, the 2 people that you talked about, they are hired and they are working. So we do have the people in place. We have hired 8 interns to help with all of this work in the Office of Equal Opportunity. We've hired 24 new community service officers to help people walk at night.
This is Justine Chahal with the State Hornet, signing off.
Thank you, news reporter Justine Chahal, for reporting.
Nelson told the State Hornet in the fall at a forum discussing the impact the sexual assaults had on students that administration would hire a second Weave advocate, an organization partnered with Sac State to provide aid to victims of sexual assault.
According to Sexual Violence Awareness Team Committee member Michael Lee Chang, the school has successfully acquired a second Weave representative.
The State Hornet recently profiled Lee Chang, highlighting the variety of ways that he is involved in helping students as a first-year political science major at Sac State.
Lee Chang came to our studio to reflect on the praise of his peers in the article written by news reporter Anthony Dezad.
My name is Michael Lee Chang. I'm a first-year political science major at Sac State from Redondo Beach, California. I work as the Federal Work Study Student Assistant for the Political Science Department. I am a student assistant for the Office for Equal Opportunity, and then I am a student intern for the California Faculty Association. I'm doing what I can to continue my advocacy work and organizing work because a part of me enjoys it, and also I want to do what I can to help my community. I enjoy it. I mean, I think it's people have hobbies. That's my hobby. Maybe I should get a more relaxing hobby, but because I do get really burnt out. After putting on the town hall, I think I just went to hibernation for the next week. And if there were any complaints, I think we should know about them, because I do want there to be a part 2, or even a part 3 and 4, 5, part 10. I do want there to be more conversations where administration includes students. I had a meeting with a VP at Mills, and I literally told him, students are just clicking through it. It's all a chore. It's literally just you watch some videos, you click through, and then you are basically trying to waste an hour. I pay to go here. You pay to go here. Most people pay to go here. And to pay to go to an institution that you're frightened at, that you can't walk at any time of the day safely or with comfort, with ease of mind, I think that's not great. If no one's going to do something about it, I might as well. There has to be different people with different passions on different issues, and collectively, that's how you make a better campus.
Lee Chang was also in attendance of a protest on campus last week about abortion.
The State Hornet spoke to folks who attended and observed the protest last Monday.
And there'd be two things. First of all, she can protect my daughter better than handing her over to a 50-year-old man. But secondly, what we would do, we would raise that child and we would love that child.
Project Truth is a faith-based organization that argues for the end of abortion access. They are committed in sharing images and testimony from people who disapprove of the practice. Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion reporter Ruth Finch interviewed Project Truth on Tuesday when they returned to campus. They told Ruth that Project Truth hops from college to college, spreading awareness to their cause without any direct affiliation with any students in attendance, hoping to convince students that, quote, abortion is an act of violence that kills a baby, end quote. Project Truth had blown up graphic images of aborted fetuses they were using to discourage abortion. Members of the group on campus handed out magazines full of pictures and testimony from folks who disapprove of the practice of abortion. Outside of Project Truth, other folks outside of Sac State came to push a pro-life opinion on the campus body, which inspired students in the area to counter-protest.
God is patient with sinners, but there will be a day when his patience will run out. I cannot be horrible with you. We'll do better next time.
I want to see you guys come here.
Mabel Knotts, a common attendee of the Pride Center, shared what she observed that day.
It's kind of unfair as a student to keep just receiving emails that say our hearts are broken about the situation. I'd rather see more affirmative action to things that are happening instead of just waking up to see another email from the president.
How would you feel if this exact same situation happened in campus?
I don't think I would feel that safe on campus.
Police officer Harvey Wu was in attendance with other members of Sac State PD to make sure the engagement remained peaceful and de-escalate. The gathering was entirely legal. Every CSU has a designated free speech area where folks not in attendance can share their message, including Sac State. And though the images being shared could be described as disturbing or obscene, because the speech is political in nature, it is covered by the First Amendment. Lake Sweet, another common attendee of the Pride Center, also spoke on what they observed that Monday.
And I saw some of the signs, so I went to take a look. I saw a person in the center who was very yelling very angrily about how we're quoting. He said, "You are full adults, and you should know about how bad abortions are." There were some students who were trying to engage in discussion about actually having a debate, but the most common response was just quoting Bible verses and shaking his fists angrily. I did hear that there were some students who were just kind of throwing insults just to be a part of things, just to because they didn't like the people, so they were just making up insults. And I think the term Nazi got thrown in there in the middle of that, and I don't think that was based on anything. I think people were just pissed.
Real quick, did you observe any acts, comments, or anything that you would consider to be anti-Semitic?
Not personally, no. I know the students weren't being violent. From what I saw, the students were trying to de-escalate and speak as civilly as they could. There were a few people throwing insults, trying to agitate things. The overwhelming majority was attempting to have either have an actual debate or ask them to leave campus because they did not approve of the message they were spreading.
Reporters observed intense heated debate, but there are no reports of anyone being harmed during the protest.
Follow along with our coverage observing the rest of Black History Month and the upcoming opening of the PETA Center on February 28th.
Thank you for watching the State Hornet broadcast. Student news without fear or favor.